All right, welcome to week 13 of our predictions, also the last week of the regular season. Let's jump right into kind of a studs or duds for the whole year. Right now, the studs are Aaron and I, the only two that have clinched. We've done it pretty easily, and overall dud would be me. Not only am I number one overall in record, but I'm number one in points, and it's not even close. And I'm about to, I think my prediction for this week is set the high score for the fourth week in a row. Be the high score for the fourth week in a row. I have two different kind of duds that I want to give out. The other duds are to the people that are now officially out. John, Tyler, and Chris. Start thinking about drafting 1, 2, and 3 next year, and all that good stuff. So enjoy meaningless football now that you only can watch your favorite team, and the rest of it is no longer fantasy for you. And I also give out one more dud. That is to Andy, who's trying to make a playoff push, but he picks up Ray Rice, the first team to do so. And I think it could be a distraction, man, to have a player like that on your team who beats his wife. I don't know if that's the kind of vibe you want to get in there before you jump into the playoff picture. So, first, though, you got to get there. So let's get to this week's predictions. For this week, I'm going to do 3 games that matter, and then I'll breeze through the other 3 that do not. Okay, so the first game that matters, I believe, is here. It is. Chris, unfortunately for you, you can do nothing good for yourself, but you can hurt Andy. So let's see if you can do it. Just looking at Thanksgiving, you got 22 points from McCoy, 9 from Bryant, and 13 from your kicker. That seems to be about right. More than I would think McCoy would get, and less than I think Brian would get. And Andy, on the flip side, you got less for Forte than I probably would have expected. I maybe would have thought 15 for him. So let's see. You guys literally right now are projected to be 0.1 difference in your game. So that's kind of crazy. Let's see, Breeze against Pittsburgh. I want him to do awesome because I need the Browns to move up in the AFC North. So it's at Pittsburgh, and I don't think he's going to do it. I think it's just going to be a mad rush in the AFC North, and I think everyone's going to keep winning. So I also think Forsett will do good in San Diego, and Martavius Bryant will do good for Pittsburgh, on and on. And on your side, I don't believe in Trent Richardson anymore. I do believe in Bill Belichick, which I think does slow down Randall Cobb. And I just don't think. I think San Diego will put up some points against the Ravens, enough to get you single digits there. So, Chris, you continue losing. Andy, you win. And I think that gets you in the playoffs. I don't remember right now off the top of my head, but it might. I'll maybe give my prediction of who's in the playoffs at the end, but I think it's going to play out exactly how it's laid out right now. So, next game that matters is Jim versus Heiser. Heiser, you really need the win, and you need to score big. So let's see, can you do that? You start off with 7.2 points for Marshall and 1.3 for Witten. Nope, you're not in, and you're going to lose. And here's why. Because I do think Tom Brady will play decent today, but I do think they're going to run the ball more against Green Bay than they're going to throw it. And then on the flip side, you're going against a decent performance by Philly's kicker. A subpar, actually crappy performance by Bolden, but Murray got his 20, Cutler got almost 20. That's good enough from him that I do not think you make up for it. And I think, Jim, you cruise on right into the playoffs. And Heiser, you're going to find yourself on the outside looking in, which is not a place you want to be. Last game that matters is Aaron and Nick. Aaron's already in, so it doesn't matter for him, but Nick needs the win, and he has to win because Nick doesn't score points. So let's look at what already played out on Thanksgiving. Russell Wilson, less than I would expect, but Calvin Johnson more, and the Seahawks defense more. I would have thought from those 3 players you would have got 60 points instead of 84. And then on the flip side, Aaron, you already had a lot of people play, with Lynch getting less than expected, Gore getting less than expected, Matthews getting what? A little bit more than I expect. I don't know. Maybe 10, 11 is what I expect from him. Lions getting what I expect, and your kicker being about normal in the single digits. So because you're playing out normal right now, and Nick is playing out big, let's see if you can actually make a comeback with Matt Ryan, who I do not believe in, especially against Arizona. Antonio Brown, I do believe in, especially against the Saints. And maybe, no, I think Patriots going to run more. So, no, I don't think you can make up for it. I think with just Jamal Charles or Anderson, one of them is going to get 20+, and that's about all he needs to win this one, just to creep over 100, and I think the game is his. So, Nick, welcome to the playoffs. All right, let's get to the games that don't matter. First one that doesn't matter is Ben versus John Davis. Ben, I mean, you got like a small glimmer of hope, but I don't think you're going to get it, especially when you got 0 from Ertz and 4 from the Cowboys D. Alshon Jeffrey has 24 points. That's good. And I really think this game's going to go to John, just because that's kind of how your season's been going, Ben. So I think Nelson will do okay. I think New England will shut down Cobb, but I think it's hard to shut down Nelson. And I'm not even sure Arian Foster's going to play. I just saw on the bottom of the screen. I don't know. But I think John's going to win, and this is strictly based on Ben has just had that kind of year. And, John, you could use the win, being losing the last 3 in a row. Next one that doesn't matter is my game versus Ben Baker. No better way to end your season than beating Ben Baker, which I will do. I got 21 from the Eagles, which are actually not that great of a defense. They just score points, okay? They get turnovers and they score touchdowns on special teams a lot, and just on our defense does too. So they actually did get what I expect. I do expect about 20 from them. And I think the rest of my players are solid. I mean, I think there's a reason why I'm scoring that many points, and it's because I was already a strong team, and now I've added Josh Gordon to the mix, and I think he's a top 5 wide receiver. Benjamin is a top 10 wide receiver. Graham is a top 3 tight end, I think, and Roddy White is right now playing like a top 10 wide receiver. So and Lacy and Bell are solid, and Luck is the best that there is, and I do mean that right now. I think over Peyton Manning this season, I'd rather have Luck on my team than rather have Peyton Manning. So good luck me. Baker, see ya. Next game, last game that doesn't really matter, should be Tyler's game versus Drew Wagner. Tyler, I guess you could throw in like some kind of bad luck to Drew, but I think he's in. And he got what I expect out of Macklin, and you did not get what I expect out of Romo. So I think you're going to limp yourself right into the offseason. Start thinking about drafting at the top for once, since you've been drafting in the bottom the last couple of years. And, Wagner, I don't think you're going to score really high, but I don't think it matters. I think you are going to win. We'll say overall you get 105. Tyler gets 84. So that's my guess. And here's why. I think Gronk is good. Smith is good for a long pass here and there. Fred Jackson will run well against Cleveland. Most people do. And Rodgers will have to throw because they're going to be down against New England. So there it is. That is the last prediction of the season. But I will still do them for the playoffs, just for the games that matter. And I do, like I said, I think it's going to play out. I'll be number 1. Aaron will be number 2. I think Jim is going to win. I picked, so he'll be 3, Wagner 4. I think Nick will win, and I think Andy will win. So I think it's just going to play out just like that. Those top 6, I don't think it's going to change. I think that's what it's going to be. So I will see you fools in the playoffs next week. I think there's only going to be 3 games, 6 teams make it, 2 games that'll matter. And then 2 people have a bye, and the rest of you will be in the consolation ladder, which everyone knows no one pays attention to that. So, it's been a good season. I will see you in the playoffs.